A massive dragon and mysterious monsters violently attack humanity, slaughtering innocent people as global crime rates surge. Governments were entirely powerless everywhere. Unable to stop the monsters or criminals, terrified citizens lost all hope. Suddenly, humanity's first true hero, Zero, emerged. He fearlessly confronted the monstrous horde, completely wiping them out. Then he challenged the giant dragon, unleashing his incredible power to sever its head. Through his brave actions, the legendary hero Zero successfully saved humanity from evil. He systematically arrested the remaining criminals, restoring light to the world. Afterward, he founded a superhero organization, inspiring others to follow the great hero Zero's path. Consequently, crime rates plummeted, and the world finally experienced lasting peace. However, Hero Zero vanished mysteriously without a trace, returning to a remarkably ordinary, simple life as a young man, Lin. He stood quietly near a public screen, observing a crowd intently watching a documentary about himself. He muttered, "5 years ago I heroically saved humanity. Today I am just unemployed, job-hunting Lin." Suddenly, excited screams grabbed his attention. Investigating the commotion, he discovered a vibrant musical band performing live. Their charismatic leader, Shishin, enthusiastically grabbed the microphone, happily welcoming the massive cheering crowd to his truly spectacular stage show. To witness our hero organization-level promotion. Suddenly, the notorious Black Hand Gang infiltrated the crowd, opening fire on the band. Remarkably, leader Shishin effortlessly caught bullets bare-handed. The gang leader snarled, "You hurt me before, so prepare to die." The band boldly shot back, "You are mere fugitives fleeing justice. How dare you ruin everything? Know what happens to our enemies. You will deeply regret this." Sensing an imminent, deadly clash between the gang and the musical heroes, the terrified crowd immediately fled the area to avoid getting hurt. The furious gang leader ordered his men to shoot. Reacting swiftly, the heroic band used superpowers to disarm the thugs. Shishin mocked them, feeling confused without your stolen weapons. The enraged leader commanded his men to attack. Instantly, the band unleashed their musical weapons. One hero swiftly eliminated 2 thugs. When another gangster attempted an ambush, an invisible band member easily evaded him. As more criminals rushed in to assist their struggling comrade, the heroic musician activated his cloning ability, effortlessly wiping them all out entirely at once. Shishin approached the gang leader, calling him foolish for trespassing. Seething with intense rage, the leader swore ultimate destruction and wildly charged forward to deliver a crushing punch. Shishin gracefully dodged the reckless assault, slipped behind the brute, and delivered a devastating stomach blow, sending him crashing into the ground. Shishin warned him to leave immediately forever. However, the stubborn gang leader furiously scrambled back up to continue fighting. Suddenly, Lin snuck behind, handcuffing his leg. Lin declared, "You terrorized innocent people and attacked this band. I am detaining you for the police. Move and I will add more cuffs." Shocked, the leader recognized those exclusive cuffs belonged strictly to high-ranking police, realizing Shishin had betrayed their arrangement. In a flashback, Shishin met the criminal leader at night to forge a corrupt deal. Shishin proposed a staged fight to falsely boost his heroic guild ranking. He offered a bank card containing half the agreed payment up front, promising the remainder once the fake battle concluded successfully tomorrow. The leader replied, "I never expected such extreme ranking desperation. Imagine if the organization discovers this." Back to present. Feeling terribly betrayed, the furious gang leader screamed out his immense frustration. "Watch closely. My true power awakens as he grows gigantic." Utterly bewildered, Shishin had absolutely no viable defensive strategy. The Titan brutally punched him away. Terrified for their fallen leader, the brave band members fearlessly leaped toward the towering giant. Unsurprisingly, the giant effortlessly crushed their futile attack, declaring a new reality. "You are pathetic and weak." Suddenly, a distant voice powerfully echoed, "I am Zan, guild hero, and I strictly forbid you from harming us. Killing you guarantees my swift promotion." Zan aimed his mechanical gloves, but the faulty tech unexpectedly backfired with dangerous lasers. The blast violently knocked Zan down. Lin rushed over, asking if alive. Groaning in pain, Zan whispered, "Fear not. I haven't unleashed my full potential. Heroes never surrender easily." Zan boldly charged, leaping toward the massive leader. Unsurprisingly, the overwhelming power difference showed as the giant casually swatted Zan straight into a nearby dumpster. Refusing defeat, Zan repeatedly scrambled up, wielding various combat tools. Sadly, every desperate attempt proved completely useless against the brute's strength. Growing increasingly annoyed by these relentless yet pathetic interruptions, the enraged giant glared downward, shouting his utter exhaustion. Promising utter destruction, the giant charged furiously. Zan desperately urged Lin to flee, completely unaware of Lin's hidden might. Pitying the battered hero facing certain death, Lin finally intervened. Dashing toward the towering beast, Lin summoned his colossal hammer and brought it smashing down upon the villain's skull, effortlessly instantly eliminating the massive threat with overwhelming force. Absolutely astounded by this single-strike victory, Zan stared in disbelief. Recovering his senses, Zan eagerly proposed a partnership. He believed that combining his strategic brilliance with Lin's terrifying physical power would create an unstoppable heroic duo. Suddenly, a sleek vehicle arrived nearby, halting. Out stepped Mono, the guild's most formidable heroine. Scanning the immense battle wreckage scattered everywhere, her eyes eventually settled on the wounded Zan alongside Lin. Curious, Mono confidently approached, demanding an explanation for this unprecedented devastation. Starstruck Zan practically fainted, completely disbelieving his direct encounter with the legendary Supreme Heroine. He nervously introduced himself as an officially registered hero. I witnessed a criminal ambush, immediately engaged with my advanced gear, and victoriously secured the area alongside Mai. Confused by his statement, Mono asked regarding assistance. Glancing sideways, Zan realized Lin secretly vanished, leaving him utterly speechless and thoroughly embarrassed. By sunset, Lin quietly arrived home, instantly overhearing his older sister loudly scolding her co-worker. The desperate co-worker pleaded against her resignation. He loved her deeply, fearing her sudden permanent departure. She replied, "A prestigious research institute just accepted me." This approval demanded tremendous sacrifices. She forcibly kicked him out, violently slamming her apartment door. Lin entered, prompting her immediate interrogation regarding his employment. Lin admitted that finding decent work proved incredibly difficult. Furious, his sister screamed loudly, demanding confirmation of his continuous, embarrassing professional failure. 5 jobless years, are you merely a worthless burden? Furthermore, you completely ignore chores, neglect cleaning your filthy room, and scatter laundry everywhere. If our beloved parents were alive today, they would absolutely condemn this disgusting chaos. Mid-argument, Zan unexpectedly entered their apartment, enthusiastically introducing himself to Lin's baffled sister. He cheerfully declared his mission to formally recruit her talented brother. Snatching the guild card, the eager sister verified this meant guaranteed official employment. She smiled happily, instantly agreeing with him. Lin strongly opposed joining, entirely lacking any heroic aspirations, but immense domestic pressure ultimately forced his reluctant agreement. Their relentless nagging succeeded eventually. The next morning, they arrived at the hero organization. While touring the impressive facility, they spotted Zero's statue. Zan proudly proclaimed him humanity's absolute greatest historical savior. Those alongside are assistants. Following his mysterious disappearance, society established this massive organization, strictly categorizing all registered heroes by specific power levels. Unfortunately, this hierarchical system fueled intense rivalry and endless infighting. Winning battles increases rankings, driving many discouraged heroes away. Hearing this surprising history, Lin quietly pondered, silently struggling because he genuinely never remembered having any official heroic assistance. Afterward, Zan enthusiastically escorted the bewildered Lin toward the rigorous official guild examinations. Eventually reaching the testing arena, an employee introduced Lin to Jatin, an incredibly muscular examiner deep in training, instructing him to evaluate the newcomer's true potential. Jatin smirked confidently, explaining that merely surviving against him for 3 minutes guaranteed passing this physical exam. Warning of high failure rates, Jatin was interrupted when Lin laughed, asking about offensively striking back. Lin's arrogant question completely stunned Zan and the employee. Zan whispered, "Sure, you once one-punched a gangster. However, Jatin is second rank." Ignoring warnings, Lin confidently approached Jatin, ready to begin. Chuckling at this foolish overconfidence, Jatin magically transformed his arms into deadly bladed weapons, preparing to fight. Unfazed, Lin summoned his hammer. Jatin struck swiftly, yet Lin effortlessly blocked it with his hammer. Astounded, Zan gasped, claiming successfully blocking Jatin's fierce strike was completely impossible. "I have never seen this." Impressed, Jatin admitted Lin seemed serious. "Surprisingly strong indeed. I test many. You represent the strongest challenger. Prepare for maximum power." Suddenly, Jatin vanished, striking viciously from Lin's blind spot. Lin easily dodges. Jatin throws rocks, hurling boulders. Lin destroys them. They viciously clash. Jatin mocks him. Normal attacks miss. He strikes down. Lin laughing blocks. Jatin attacks fast, but Lin patiently waits, blocks, then breaks his nose, winning decisively. Zan and the evaluator watch stunned as Lin earns the highest possible grade. Next is a written test, shocking Lin. Jatin awakes in a hospital near Mano. Confused, he remembers testing a new hero. Shocked, Jatin leaps from bed, recalling only that he was brutally defeated. Mano urges forgetfulness. That powerful hero ultimately failed the written exams. Jatin examines the failure. Lin's answers clearly show he rejects becoming a hero. Later, test results are finally announced. Placed in the weakest rank, Lin gets laughed at, then comforted by Zan. Zan reassures angry Lin. Persistence is key. Lin worries about weakness while noticing bullies harassing a vulnerable young man nearby. They violently threaten to rob him. Lin notices bystanders ignoring the pleas for help, allowing the cruel bullies to mock their helpless victim. "Nobody will help. Even Hero Zero would abandon you." Lin intervenes angrily while Zan attacks, defending Zero's good honor. The leader catches Zan's punch, preparing to retaliate. Lin aggressively steps in to protect. Lin defends Zero before a third-rank hero appears, scaring the cowardly bullies away immediately into hiding. Zan stands shocked. The victim Yan gives thanks, and the rescuer introduces himself as Shizen. "People fear me." Lin invites the lonely Shizen. Shizen tearfully accepts the offer. "My first allies." He cries tears of joy. He mentions one small issue. His terrible luck brings misfortune to everyone nearby. It is true. He explains his tragic past of devastating orphanages burning entirely. Another orphanage collapsed completely in a devastating earthquake afterward too. Disaster follows me constantly everywhere. Homelessness felt safer. The three back away. Just one lucky time. A bear attacked me. Hero Zero saved my life then. Inspired my dreams. Shizen excitedly strikes a pillar, causing a massive collapse that injures Yan. Lin destroys a falling statue to save a child, commanding action immediately. Shizen visits Yan safely recovering hospitalized. Yan demands distance, but Lin defends their teammate, insisting on complete solidarity. Later, the team relaxes together. Meanwhile, Shizen observes criminals delivering an illegal weapon. Shizen summons Yan using special glasses. Yan teleports through eyewear. Zan tests an uncontrollable leg. The gang demonstrates a monstrous weapon nearby. The eager buyer requests a field test. Water becomes monstrous, providing total monster control. The amazed buyer pays immediately. Lin's team ambushes them, arresting them for danger. Criminals draw guns. Dodging bullets, Yan teleports to disarm them all instantly. Monster attacks now. Shizen shoots it, angering the beast further towards them. Terrified Zan seeks guidance. Lin hammers it away. Toward innocent civilians. Monster hunts people. Civilians flee. Lin strikes it forcefully. Zan warns against city destruction, causing massive panic. Zan brings water-purifying weapons for defeating monsters. Zan enters it quickly. Lin forcefully extracts Zan. Clean water spotting remains. Zan attacks again. Monster's arms block his path. Zan evades and stabs it. Amazed, Lin watches Zan conquer it entirely. Thankful crowds dance, joyfully celebrating victory. Teammates ask Lin about victory. Zan handled everything. Returning, they see improved ranking results. Pitying a poor street child, they rescue the homeless orphan girl quickly. Heroine Mano visits, acknowledging their impressive victory today. Acknowledging the adopted child. She's not ordinary. Information gathered. Mano plays a revealing video. She exposes a corrupt genetics company disguised as a children's charity globally. The girl is their sole successful genetic experiment, while thousands of failed experiments resulted in dead orphans. Lin becomes furious. Trembling with immense fury, Lin unleashes a devastating aura complaining about useless heroes, before suddenly calming down as Mano mentions ignored organization messages. The shocking truth reveals that the beloved guardian and president of the hero organization himself leads the evil Genetic Development Corporation internally. Later, Lin sits alone holding the information device. Recalling his past, he says, "I never wanted to be a hero, but it seems I'm the only one who can complete this mission. Most registered heroes only care about fame and money. I must step up and save the children from these evil people." Lin's team visits Mono's house to devise a plan against the organization's president. Mono warns, "We can't defeat his guards alone. I've enlisted my sister, Baston, a second-rank heroine, and other strong allies. They aren't here right now, but they'll join us in the battle. Our mission is to steal the children's medicine to create a vaccine, saving the kids you rescued before it's too late. If we fail this mission, thousands of innocent children will die instantly." Glaring at Lin's team, Baston angrily asks Mono, "Are we seriously relying on these amateurs? They look weak and clueless." Mono quickly reassures her, "Don't worry. Lin is the only one who can save our city. He may be in the weakest category, but I've seen him handle intense battles. He even defeated a giant monster right in the middle of the city. The important thing is that we unite now to defeat the president. We'll never succeed if we keep arguing amongst ourselves." That night, Lin's team observes the president waiting for his assistant to collect a dose of the medicine. But once the plane arrives, Mono's allies prematurely attack the president on their own. Mono glares at them in anger, having never given the signal to strike. The president immediately orders a counterattack, triggering a fierce and chaotic battle. While watching the skirmish, the president suddenly notices Lin approaching from behind. Meanwhile, the president's assistant desperately attempts to escape toward the plane. But Baston unleashes a volley of ice arrows, effectively destroying their getaway plane. Furious at the plane's destruction, the president orders a sniper to take Baston down. The sniper fires a precise shot, sending her crashing to the ground. Yan immediately rushes over to check on her condition. Standing before the president, Lin asks Mono, "Is he strong?" She replies, "He's a first-rank hero. Go after his assistant, I'll handle the president." Lin follows her orders, but finds a girl named Asha defending the assistant. Dodging her strikes, Lin tosses her aside. Zan arrives to help, drawing Asha's immediate attack. With Asha distracted, Lin charges the assistant. Pulling out his massive hammer, he strikes him hard, launching him away before attacking again. Meanwhile, Zan brawls with Asha until she suddenly vanishes. Waiting calmly, he counters her stealth attack and knocks her down. Refusing to surrender, she stands back up. "I won't be defeated this easily," she yells, rushing him and managing to stab him with a knife. Elsewhere, Yan finds Baston on the ground and offers his hand. She coldly asks, "Why are you here?" "I don't need your help." Suddenly, the sniper fires. Baston quickly conjures an ice wall, but a powerful round shatters it, blowing her backward. Yan catches her midair. Using his glasses, he teleports them to safety, hiding high up in the trees. but the relentless sniper tracks them down, blocking their path. Baston freezes him with ice arrows, but he suddenly reappears behind them. He traps Baston in an electric field, kicks Yan to the ground, and prepares to execute Baston with a laser. Meanwhile, Mono faces the president. Summoning ice, she readies her stance as the president materializes arrows from thin air and launches them at her. Blocking them, Mono goes on the offensive but is forced to retreat. "You're strong, but you can't compare to my power," he mocks. Enraged, she charges again, but he delivers a crushing blow to her stomach and back, rendering her unconscious. Grabbing her by the hair, the president sneers, "Do you regret your actions now?" Smiling weakly, she responds, "A true hero never regrets their choices. Even if I fall, another will stop you." Mono conjures a sudden ice strike against him. But he catches her hand, shattering the ice instantly before slamming her head into the dirt. "You fools," he spits. "You have neither understanding nor power. Yet you came here to defeat me. I've never seen such arrogance. How can you call yourself a hero in this pathetic state?" Meanwhile, the furious assistant glares at Lin. "You haven't seen my true power yet. You will die by my hands today." Injecting himself with the medicine, he transforms into a hulking brute and charges at Lin. Lin easily sidesteps the assault, countering with a swift punch from behind. The assistant blocks the blow, engaging Lin in a brutal clash of strength. Ultimately, Lin lands devastating strikes to his face and gut, tossing him aside before pinning his head underfoot. Lin sneers, "What do you think of your situation now? You're incredibly weak compared to me." Lin effortlessly claims an easy victory. Simultaneously, Zan pushes himself off the ground, clutching his stab wound. He looks at Asha. "I just want to talk for a moment. I know you were forced into this life. How about joining my team instead? I can offer you a brand new, better life." She scoffs, "You're only saying that so I'll spare your life. But that's not happening. You're just trying to save your own skin. I won't be tricked so easily." Zan shakes his head. "That wasn't my intention at all. If you stay on this path, you'll end up dead or in prison. Everything will be over. Is this really the life you want? There might not have been heroes before, but there are now. You can still change your life for the better. I just want you to make the right choice. Join me and become a hero, or kill me now and accept your miserable fate." Tears streaming down her face, Asha drops her knife and finally decides to join him. Meanwhile, the cyborg brutally pummels Yan. "Stop resisting, you're going to die regardless." Refusing to yield, Yan pulls out an explosive and hurls it at him. But the cyborg deflects it mid-air, rushing forward to deliver a devastating gut punch. Desperate, Baston cries out, "I'll pay whatever you want, just leave Yan alone." "I decline, that goes against my programming," he replies coldly, charging his hand cannon to vaporize her. Yan quickly throws his glasses at the cyborg, teleporting close to land a desperate haymaker to his face. Unfazed, the cyborg stares back at a deeply shocked Yan. "You really do have a death wish," the cyborg mocks. "I'll gladly grant it." He relentlessly batters Yan's face, delivering a final blow that leaves Yan paralyzed on the ground. Watching helplessly, Baston lets out a heart-wrenching scream. Yan stubbornly attempts to rise, but the cyborg mercilessly strikes him down with both hands, rendering him completely unconscious. Assuming Yan is dead, a devastated Baston watches as the cyborg aims his laser to finish her off. Fueled by pure rage, she screams, instantly entombing him in a massive glacier. The immense pressure splits him completely in half. Weeping, she sprints over to check on Yan. Meanwhile, the president violently chokes Mono. "Did you think your fame would save you from death? You won't leave here alive." But Mono suddenly grips his arm, encasing it in solid ice. He laughs darkly. "Did you honestly think this would defeat me?" Suddenly, Lin drops from above, smashing his hammer into the president's face. Sending him flying, Lin offers Mono a hand up. Grateful for the timely rescue, she gasps, "Your power is unimaginable. It vastly exceeds my expectations." Recovering, the president injects himself with the formula, mutating into a monstrous behemoth. He fires explosive arrows, but Lin and Mono narrowly dodge them. He roars, "I've transcended into the legendary category." Mono stares in sheer horror at his overwhelming aura. the president immediately launches lethal arrows toward her. Shockingly, Lin blocks every single arrow, completely shielding Mono. Charging forward, Lin brings his massive hammer crashing down. The president's defensive shield shatters under the unimaginable force. Though heavily injured, the mutant president furiously attempts a sneak attack from behind. Lin effortlessly evades it, dodging every subsequent strike with blinding speed. Bewildered, the president realizes he can't even touch him. Growing bored, Lin snaps the monster's arm, hurls him skyward, and obliterates him entirely with a devastating aerial hammer slam. Shortly after the dust settles, Asha arrives supporting Zan, declaring she's joining their team. Moments later, a tearful Baston approaches carrying an unconscious Yan, begging them to save his life. The next day, Zan and Yan recover safely in the hospital, with Baston gently feeding Yan. Lin and Mono walk into the recovery room. Yan marvels at Lin's complete lack of injuries. Lin playfully smirks, "Because I'm not weak like you guys." Mono announces that the hero organization wants to reward them with exclusive power-boosting training. Zan and Yan eagerly agree, but Lin stubbornly declines the offer. "I'm already strong enough, I don't need training," Lin claims. They argue, every true hero needs proper training. "How else will you increase your level? You'll be stuck in the weakest category forever. Just because you managed to defeat 2 first-rank enemies. There's still the legendary category out there." Lin issues a challenge. "If all of you can defeat me together, I'll train. If I win, I'm staying right here." Shortly after, they gather on the hospital roof. Preparing for combat, all 4 rush at Lin simultaneously. They launch their coordinated attacks, but Lin easily evades their every strike with blinding speed. None of them can even touch him. Baston launches a surprise attack, but the focused Lin easily blocks her strikes, punching her in the face and tossing her aside. Asha catches her before she gets hurt. Lin quickly apologizes for getting a little too carried away. Removing her cloak, Asha and Mono initiate a fierce clash. Still unable to land a single strike, Mono aggressively launches ice at him. Lin easily avoids and shatters it. Smiling, Mono traps him inside a giant block of ice, laughing that no one escapes her freeze. Suddenly, Lin shatters the ice and throws Mono. Sensing Asha's sneak attack, he strikes her stomach first. He then catches the fleeing Zan with a punch to the face, winning the fight instantly. Reminding them he doesn't need training, Lin casually walks away. That night, Lin's sister scolds him for bringing home the experimented girl and her dog. She complains she can barely afford him, let alone them, and fears the chaos. The girl and her dog beg to stay. Seeing their pitiful state, Lin's sister feels sorry for them and reluctantly agrees. The next day, she takes the dog to her lab for intelligence-enhancing experiments, hoping the improved dog might eventually take care of her useless brother. Arriving at the lab, her boss lets her in, instructing her to start the experiments alone because he is currently too busy to help. Meanwhile, Lin's team visits the hero organization to hear the official announcement of their new leader. While waiting, the music band leader, Shishin, warmly greets Lin. He asks to learn how to be a real hero. Uninterested in training anyone, Lin quickly refuses him. Soon after, the presidential appointment ceremony begins before the assembled heroes. Surprisingly, the new president is Mono's older brother. Taking the microphone, he declares his honor in becoming the hero organization's president. Today marks a brand new chapter. Emphasizing their shared goal to rebuild and maintain city stability, the president finishes his speech, waves, and departs. Lin notices Mono looks confused and unhappy, unlike everyone else. Shortly after, Mono leaves to confront her brother alone. She asks, "You didn't become president just to drag me home, right?" He replies, "Don't worry, I am here for other matters. But we have already arranged your marriage to the heir Yang family's son. Especially after you killed the previous president, who was their relative. It's the least we can do to appease their anger. So prepare yourself accordingly." She stares at him sadly. Gripping her face harshly, her brother snaps, "I don't want to see you looking sad again. Your friends can't help you escape. You know exactly what we are capable of." Mono simply looks at him, crying. Lin's team enters. Mono's brother greets him, "You must be Lin, I've heard the legends. I know you defeated the former president all by yourself. How about joining my family so we can grow together?" While his team seems pleased by the offer, Lin bluntly refuses. "I have absolutely no interest in you." Smiling, he replies, "When I want something, I get it. Honestly, I didn't even want you. But without my family head's order, you'd be dead. Think carefully, a wrong decision will end very poorly for you." Lin challenges him, "Come fight me anytime. If you even can." Furious, Mono's brother activates his paralyzing ability on everyone present. The other heroes collapse to the ground, but Lin remains completely unaffected. Glaring back, Lin unleashes a tremendous aura, forcing Mono's brother to step back and spit up blood. Lin mocks him, "If you still want to fight after that, let's go." Leaving him behind, Lin walks over to check on Shazen, who was severely affected by the paralyzing attack. Mono angrily asks her brother why he's doing this. He snaps back that it's none of her business. Walking away, he mutters to himself that he intended to teach Lin a lesson, but realized Lin is far too dangerous. Later, while walking with his team, Zan asks Lin if he intends to fight the president again. "He's definitely bad news for us. You're in major trouble." Mono seemed to be in terrible danger during that argument. Lin agrees, deciding they must monitor the situation closely. He instructs Shizen to spy on Mono and uncover the truth. Suddenly, Lin's sister calls from the lab. Announcing her dog experiments were successful, she asks Lin to come pick the dog up. A scientist colleague interrupts, inquiring about her progress. She proudly claims the dog can now read perfectly. Its vitals are stable, showing no strange side effects, and it can learn entirely independently. Giving her a sinister, knowing look, the colleague silently turns and walks away. Soon after, her former co-worker and old flame arrives. Annoyed, she asks him why he's bothering her now. He insists he came bearing urgent, life-saving news. "You must escape immediately. Your experiment supervisor is backed by the city's two most evil families. They have dark motives and need your research to achieve their goals. You can't stay in this lab." Shocked but highly skeptical, Lin's sister assumes he's just lying to ruin her successful career. Grabbing her hand, he insists there is absolutely no time to argue. "Come with me now." She shoves his hand away, shouts at him, and storms off entirely. Worried, the former co-worker orders his bodyguards to secretly protect her, threatening severe consequences if she's harmed. Meanwhile, Lin and Zan walk the city streets. Noticing something suspicious in a narrow alleyway, Lin sprints off. Confused, Zan chases blindly after him. He finds Lin tying up a captured girl. Zan asks what's happening. Lin reveals she was stalking his sister. Zan immediately steps up, preparing to hit her. Nearby on a rooftop, the girl's crew wonders why she's late. Suddenly, Lin and Zan appear behind them, carrying their captured comrade. The crew stares in shock as Lin and Zan quickly rush and eliminate them all. Searching the bodies, they discover the emblem of the powerful Aoyang family. Realizing they are connected to his sister's co-worker, an enraged Lin vows to kill him, completely unaware of the true danger currently threatening his sister. At his estate, the former co-worker receives a call from his assistant, learning that his protective detail has been entirely knocked unconscious. After a silent pause, he orders the injured men hospitalized and dispatches a replacement crew. Hanging up, he incorrectly blames Mono's brother for the attack. Punching the window glass, he vows to never let anyone harm her. Meeting up to retrieve the dog, Lin hands his sister a special necklace. "Press this button if you're ever in danger and I will be there instantly," he promises. Recalling her co-worker's frantic warning, she finally connects the dots and realizes the danger is very real. Refusing to entangle her younger brother in this deadly mess, she pushes him away. She hands over the dog, forcing him to leave safely. That night, while Shizen secretly observes Mono's house, a strange luxury car abruptly pulls up outside her door. Aoyang, her arranged fiancé, steps out with his armed guards. Approaching her, he coldly remarks that she looks ready. "I've come to collect you. I brought guards because your brother mentioned your annoying friends might intervene." Devastated by the forced marriage to this cruel family, Mono reluctantly enters the car, muttering a bitter insult at him as she complies. Enraged, Aoyang lunges forward, violently grabbing her neck. "If not for your father, I'd have killed you already." He curses their despicable family agreement and violently throws her to the ground. As a shocked Shisen watches from afar, Aoyang sneers, "Don't worry, I won't hurt you." "But I can't guarantee my family won't," Mono defiantly spits back. "If you don't want me, just kill me. If it were up to me, I would have. Now get in the car." Suddenly, Yaten arrives with his men, blocking Aoyang's path. Shocked, Mono desperately asks him why he's here. "I couldn't hear your screams and just walk away." Aoyang's deadly mechanical guards immediately step forward, entirely surrounding Yaten's crew. Aoyang smirks, "You clearly don't know who this is." "Mono is my future wife." Crying, Mono begs Yaten to leave safely, lying that she volunteered for this arrangement. Refusing to abandon her, Yaten rallies his friends. "We're beating these guys and saving you right now." Preparing for battle, they take their fighting stances. They rush the mechanical guards, landing heavy punches. But their shock grows as their attacks prove completely ineffective. One cyborg grabs two of Yaten's friends by the head, slamming them down violently. Another cyborg catches Yaten off guard, delivering a brutal gut punch. Mono struggles against Aoyang's tight grip to help them, but she's trapped. Covering her mouth, Aoyang snarls, "I don't want to hear your voice." Yanking her hair, he forcefully drags her into the waiting car. Hearing her muffled screams, Yaten rises. Summoning all his power, he charges a cyborg but is instantly struck in the face. Mono begs Aoyang to call off his lethal men. He violently grabs her face, slamming it into the car window. "I told you to stay quiet," he barks. "These insects came here and ruined my mood." The merciless robots continue beating Yaten's crew, while Mono weeps helplessly. One robot hoists Yaten by the head, repeatedly pummeling him without mercy. Mono reaches her absolute limit, unable to endure his cruelty anymore. Conjuring an ice sword, she presses it directly against Aoyang's throat. Suddenly, Shisen fires a sniper round from afar. Aoyang notices, effortlessly catching the bullet midair before throwing it back to pierce Shizen's leg. Shisen plummets from his tree perch, stunned by this incredible feat. Not stopping there, Aoyang unleashes a razor-sharp wind blade, severely injuring Shisen further. He then violently slaps Mono across the face. Weeping, Mono begs, "Please, I'll do whatever you want, just let them live." He sneers, "I won't just kill them, I'll torture them to death." Simultaneously, a robot finishes beating Yaten's crew and approaches Shisen, preparing to execute him with a fatal shot. But just before the lethal strike lands, Lin charges in and saves him. Shisen smiles weakly, "You finally came." Drawing his flaming sword, Lin rushes the robots, slicing the first one completely in half. The remaining robots quickly align, unleashing a synchronized barrage of fire. Lin expertly dodges the relentless attack. Slipping behind them, he delivers a single devastating slash, effortlessly splitting every remaining robot in two. At the same time, Aoyang receives urgent news of his destroyed forces. Checking his smartwatch, he observes Lin wielding the legendary, long-lost fire sword of Hero Zero. Laughing darkly, Aoyang notes, "That weapon is extremely dangerous. I will claim it from him at any cost." Later, back at headquarters, a terrified Yan questions Lin's team. "Do you seriously intend to assault the Aoyang estate to rescue Mono? They are one of the most powerful families in the entire city, armed with highly advanced combat robots. If they deploy their robot army, we are all dead." Zan replies firmly, "Yes, we are going. Don't forget that Mono is our friend. We have a duty to protect her. Do you want Mr. Yaten and Shisen's sacrifices to have been in vain?" Accepting their grim reality, Yan reluctantly agrees to join them. Suddenly, Shishin, the band leader, enters and says, "I heard Miss Mono is in grave danger. I've come to help you guys save her." The group approaches Asha, who proudly announces, "I've successfully hacked the family's defense network." Smiling with relief, they gather around her to formulate an infiltration plan. Asha informs them the wedding ceremony is tomorrow night at their headquarters. Sadly, Mono agreed to this to appease the family's wrath. "Because you killed the former president, their relative." Seething with rage, Lin vows to eliminate them one by one, demanding to leave immediately. Zan calmly intervenes, "We know your strength, Lin, but we need a solid strategy. Our previous recklessness got Shisen and Mr. Yaten severely injured. We must plan carefully to prevent further casualties." Shishin will lead his fans in a loud protest outside the headquarters as a distraction. Meanwhile, Asha will disable all their security cameras. The next day, they execute their plan at the Aoyang estate. Inside, Baston asks Mono, "Are you absolutely certain about this?" Mono sighs, "Unfortunately, I have no other choice. This is my family's collective decision." Suddenly, Aoyang barges in. He grabs Mono roughly, demanding, "Who is this Lin character? I want his fire sword." Throwing her to the floor, he adds, "I initially considered a deal. But since he brought his dogs here, I'll take the sword and execute him right in front of you." He then storms out. Meanwhile, a masked Lin and his friends breach the compound. Baston intercepts them, demanding their identities. Yan reveals himself, prompting Baston's ally to attack. Yan immediately engages her in combat. Seizing the distraction, Lin and Zan sprint toward Mono's room. Finding two elite guards at the door, Zan steps up to fight them, providing cover. Lin slips past the brawl and hurries inside to find Mono. Unrecognizing him behind the mask, she conjures ice, fully prepared to fight. Lin removes his mask. Shocked, she asks, "Why did you come here?" Offering his hand, he urges, "Come on, let's go. Our friends can't hold them off forever." Mono refuses. "I can't leave, I'll be fine. I promised my family no more trouble." She aims an ice attack at him, but he catches her arm. "I won't leave you alone in this. I'm not leaving without you. Don't let Shisen and Mr. Yatan's sacrifices be meaningless." Through tears, Mono replies, "That's exactly why I can't leave. I refuse to let anyone else get hurt because of me. The Aoyang family is dangerously powerful. Provoking their anger will be catastrophic." Lin insists, "We are all friends, and like I said, I'm not leaving without you." Drawing his sword, he destroys a wall, offering his hand once more. As Lin and Mono escape, Zan is suddenly thrown forcefully toward them. Looking ahead, they see Aoyang flanked by two heavily armed robots. Mono trembles in fear. Holding her hand reassuringly, Lin taunts Aoyang, "Aren't you ashamed? Relying on a woman to salvage the reputation of two supposedly great families." Taking off his mask, Lin challenges, "I challenge you to a duel. If I win, Mono leaves with me. If you win, I'll personally help arrange your wedding." Aoyang smirks, "Not enough, I want your fire sword." Terrified, Mono warns Lin, "Aoyang is one of their strongest fighters, you'll lose easily." Lin reassures her, "I'm not weak, I will defeat him easily." They proceed to the combat arena. The heads of both families, along with Mono's brother, gather to watch. Aoyang announces the terms of his high-stakes wager, with Lin to the assembled audience. Upon hearing this, Mono's brother quietly exits. Suspecting betrayal, Lin's sister's co-worker, an Aoyang family member, decides to secretly follow him. In the arena, Aoyang faces Lin. Lin readies his weapon. At the bell, Aoyang hurls an electric field, but Lin blocks it, charging forward for a fierce clash. Lin strikes downward, but Aoyang summons a shield, blocking the blow. Aoyang activates a finger technique. Lin dodges. Both land powerful punches simultaneously, creating a massive shockwave. Aoyang launches energy rings, but Lin deflects every single one. Aoyang attempts a surprise rush, but Lin anticipates it, hurling his sword directly at him. Aoyang narrowly dodges the blade, allowing Lin to strike him from behind, sending him crashing to the ground. Laughing, Aoyang rises. Equipping specialized gloves, he levitates rocks and hurls them at Lin. Lin avoids the debris, bringing his sword down forcefully. Aoyang hastily generates multiple shields, all shatter except the final layer, just before it breaks. Aoyang barely catches Lin's blade. Standing up, Lin delivers a crushing punch to his face, throwing him back. Unleashing his sword's draconic power, Lin prepares for a lethal full-force charge. A confused Aoyang frantically attempts to raise a rock barrier for defense. Failing that, he manifests a final, desperate energy shield. The shield instantly shatters, leaving Aoyang severely wounded. Lin declares that strike was for Shisen. Refusing to yield, Aoyang stands, generating a colossal energy sword from his aura. He swings it down with tremendous force, but Lin remains entirely unharmed. Mono's family leaders watch in absolute disbelief, unable to comprehend how Lin evaded the attack. Lin rushes Aoyang, landing a brutal kick to his face that slams him into the arena wall. Tearing off his cloak, an enraged Aoyang stands again, preparing a highly unstable, dangerous spell. Horrified, the Aoyang family head orders an immediate evacuation. A catastrophic explosion destroys the arena. Blinded by smoke, Mono frantically searches for Lin. She encounters Yan, who is supporting an injured Zan. Both had come to spectate. Through the haze, they spot Yang levitating, enveloped in a massive, terrifying energy aura. Terrified, Mono screams Lin's name. Emerging from the thick smoke, Lin appears completely uninjured. Shocked and furious, Yang unleashes a colossal barrage of raw energy at him. Lin counters by releasing his sword's dragon power, striking Yang down completely. Having finally won the grueling battle, Lin is happily greeted by a celebrating Mono. Suddenly, Mono collapses, unresponsive. Lin looks around in horror as everyone else falls unconscious as well. This mysterious phenomenon rapidly spreads throughout the entire city. Meanwhile, Lin's sister's lab lies in absolute ruins. The doctors are dead, while she and her co-worker lie unconscious amidst the debris. Sitting atop her experimental machine, Mono's brother is draining the consciousness of humanity. "My lifelong dream was to become a hero like Zero," he murmurs. "To have everyone cheer my name." Suddenly, Mono's brother approaches Lin, laughing maniacally. "I've absorbed everyone's power, prepare for agonizing torture." Unleashing a tiger's power, he attacks. Surprisingly, Lin easily shatters the assault, injuring him. Enraged, he screams, "How dare you, surrender now or I'll kill you myself." Lin remains silent. Mono's brother relentlessly assaults him with levitated rocks and summoned storms. Lin dodges effortlessly, launching a fierce counterattack from behind. Gathering immense energy, Mono's brother hurls it, screaming, "I'll kill you just like I killed your sister." The sheer force knocks Lin to the ground. Mono's brother moves in for the final, lethal blow. Suddenly, he's transporting to a nightmarish realm filled with agonizing faces and deafening screams. Turning, he sees Lin, weeping over his sister's body, his eyes burning with intense, murderous rage. Returning to reality, Lin rises. "I will make you deeply regret this. I will torture you until you die." Transforming, Lin unleashes overwhelming energy, standing before him as Hero Zero for the first time since the giant dragon attack. Mono's brother stares in absolute shock, unable to believe Lin is Hero Zero. Summoning violent storms from the heavens, he attacks, but Lin counters with a red energy beam that obliterates the tempest and severely wounds him. Desperate, Mono's brother condenses his remaining power to mutate into a hulking behemoth, slamming his fist downward. Lin quickly leaps skyward, landing firmly on the monster's shoulder. "I'll use a technique I haven't unleashed in a very long time," he declares, drawing Zero's fire sword. An infinite cataclysmic aura erupts from the blade as Lin strikes, sending Mono's brother crashing away. Pulling himself up, the mutant gasps, "You truly are history's strongest hero." "But I will never accept defeat. Even a god like Hero Zero can blade and bleed out." Lin thrusts his sword forward, unleashing blinding energy beams that Mono's brother desperately attempts to block. The piercing light cuts straight into outer space. Obliterated by the pressure, Mono's brother collapses amidst chain explosions. Lin stands over him, pointing the blade at his throat. "Chasing raw power won't solve your problems," Lin says calmly. Touching him with the sword, Mono's brother screams in burning agony as Lin drains his stolen power completely, reverting back to his normal self. The broken villain mutters, "My power was absolutely nothing next to yours. I am completely hollow. But how did you attain such godlike strength?" Removing his cloak, Lin reveals a torso covered in horrific battle scars, leaving the villain completely paralyzed with shock. Lin explains, "This scar on my chest came from being run through by the fire sword itself. And my shoulder was torn open while purging alien infestations. Every mark represents the world's deadliest monsters and warriors I faced. Every time I slaughtered them, I absorbed their power. But after taking so countless lives, I completely lost track of who I originally was. I remain a ghost wandering among humanity." Mono's brother wheezes, "It's an absolute miracle you haven't completely mentally collapsed yet. You are a true anomaly." His physical form begins to fracture and dissolve into dust. His final vision is the terrifying majesty of Hero Zero at the absolute peak of his power. Lin lets out a quiet, hollow chuckle before walking away into the shadows. Later, Lin visits the ruined laboratory, sitting quietly beside his unconscious sister. Waking up to see her brother watching over her, she blinks in confusion. "What are you doing here?" He smiles, "My sister was in danger. I would never leave you to handle that alone." "But why didn't you use the beacon necklace?" She looks away. "I refused to drag you into a death trap, so I threw it away." He chuckles, "You forget I'm a licensed hero now. I can handle myself. I'm incredibly strong." If you're ever cornered like that again, you signal me immediately. Understand? Suddenly, Lin's phone buzzes with a private text from Mono, requesting a private rendezvous. Standing at the coastline during a golden sunset, Lin waits patiently, reminiscing about their journey, their first meeting, the desperate battles they survived, and the raid to save her from Yang. Mono quietly steps up beside him. Turning to her, he asks softly, "So, are you really packing up and leaving the city behind?" She nods wistfully.